ESPN's Adam Schefter did a bit of a news dump yesterday of all of the stuff that he is hearing ahead of the 2025 NFL Draft. And one of the things of note that at least stood out to me in regards to the Arizona Cardinals was a blurb that said, expect a day two run on wide receivers. That just like last year when Keon Coleman and Ladd McConkey went at number 33 and number 34, right away, a run on wide receivers, he anticipates there to be another day two run on wide receivers. And he mentions names like Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll out of Iowa State. He mentions Kyle Williams out of Washington State. And those are some of the guys that have been mocked at different stages to the Arizona Cardinals. And so if there's going to be a day two run on wide receivers, let's live in that world for just a second. If the beginning of the first round, or the beginning of the second round, is going to see wide receivers go, maybe not necessarily 33 and 34, but 35, 36, 37, early on day two, are the Cardinals in a position? Because all I've heard, Chris, you can't take wide receivers in the first round back-to-back years. Are you crazy? What are you thinking? How could you champion Matthew Golden with the 16th overall pick? Have you lost your mind? They just took a wide receiver with the first-round pick last year. Okay. Where are you going to take a wide receiver then? Because if you're not taking one at 16, you're not taking one if you trade down out of 16, where are you taking a wide receiver? Who's going to be on the board at 47? If there's a run on wide receivers at the start of the first round, at the start of the second round, you moving up 14 spots? You moving up 13 spots? We just talked in hour number one of the program of the Cardinals only having 6 picks and a trade down needing to facilitate more swings at the bat. You want to trade up? Trading up on day two from 47 somewhere into the mid-30s to try to land a wide receiver. How's that going to work when you only have 6 picks? You going to dip into 2026's draft capital in order to do so? That doesn't feel like something Monty is going to be interested in doing. That doesn't feel like, until we see it, is a part of their philosophy. Are you getting a wide receiver at 78 in the third round? Who's going to be left if there's going to be that day two run early on wide receivers? So are the Cardinals, if they want to make a meaningful upgrade at wide receiver, are they going to be forced to take one in the first round? Now, I don't need them to take a wide receiver with the 16th overall pick. If they want to move down 3 or 4 spots, gain some additional picks, and then take a wide receiver at 20, at 22, 23, I think that's the best of both worlds. I think that is landing a player out of position of need, that is getting future draft picks. If you take a wide receiver, you're getting ahead of what is a perceived run that's going to happen early. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be able to be a part of a run on day two of wide receivers. I think they're too far outside of the range that they're going to need to find themselves in. 47 is too far back. They have limited capital. So I don't think a receiver that we're all interested in, Kyle Williams, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Knoll, I don't know if any of those guys are going to be there at 47. And if I don't think those guys are going to be there at 47, who's going to be available at 78? Now, all of a sudden, you're taking a receiver on day 3 with your 4th, 5th, or 7th round pick. And I can't expect that guy to contribute in any meaningful way in 2025. And I think the Cardinals still need a meaningful wide receiver that can help contribute in some way next season. I think that's the one thing they haven't really addressed. I still think they need a wide receiver too. So if they're going to do it, is their only way of doing it, if what we hear from Adam Schefter to be true is true? Is it 16 or bust? Is it first round or bust? I don't see a world where they can trade up at the start of day 2. They have 6 picks. When day 2 starts, they'll have 5 picks, barring a trade down on night 1. They'll have 5 picks to utilize. That's not enough. That's not enough ammunition. That is not enough draft capital. Producer Evan, can you look real quick last year at the 2024 draft and tell me how many of the first, and I don't know the answer to this, this is just me asking a question on the fly, how many of the first, let's say 10 picks of the second round were moved? Or how many of them teams just stayed in their spot and made a selection, right? We mentioned Keon Coleman and Ladd McConkey going early. Those two teams, Buffalo, that was part of the Kansas City trade, right?
You will not believe this.
Okay, I love it. I love when you set up an answer with that. Go ahead.
9 of the first 10 picks were moved.
It's like I just had this feeling that I just remembered something but couldn't really put my finger on it. 9 of the first 10. So that's 33 through where? 43?
So from 33
to 42?
To 42, 9 of the picks were moved. The only pick that wasn't moved was 36, were the Commanders.
Okay. So 34 was moved?
34 was moved from New England. Chargers came up and took McConkey.
Can you tell me what they gave up? Can you tell me what the Patriots got back for the Chargers to come up and get Ladd McConkey? I know I'm putting you a little bit on the spot because the reason why I want to ask this question is the Cardinals are going to have to move up from 47 to get into this range. So I want to know what it's going to take.
Yeah, so it was New England gave up the 34th and 137th
So
is what the Chargers got.
So 34 and 137, you said?
Yep.
Okay.
34 and 137 in exchange for 37th. Chargers moved up 3 spots as well as moved back 27 spots, giving up the 110th.
So that was to move up from 37 to 34. That was to move up 3 spots. The Cardinals, if they wanted to get to 34, have to move up 13 spots. If they want to get inside the top 30, they have to move up 8 or 9 spots. You can see where this puzzle doesn't work. You can see where you open the box and it's a 100-piece puzzle and you are only shipped 96 pieces. I can't finish the puzzle. If the Cardinals want to get a wide receiver, if one of their goals is to not just get a project wide receiver, not to take a flyer on somebody and hope 2 years down the road they turn into something. If they want to leave this draft with somebody that can be a part of their wide receiver room in 2025 and can be a contributor in some way with the hopes of being a mainstay in year 2 and beyond, if that's what they want to do, I'm starting to wonder if their only pathway to do that is to make a move on draft night, that being night 1, and to take a wide receiver with the 16th overall pick. Or the better way to do this is to move down a couple of spots, gain some additional picks, and then take the wide receiver. Cover all your bases. Get more swings at the bat and still land the guy that you want. Now, is that going to be Matthew Golden? I don't know. I don't know where Golden's sweet spot is. There are some people that have him as wide receiver 1 in this class. There are others that have him as low as wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. It's all over the place, people's evaluations of Matthew Golden. That's my wide receiver 1. That's the guy I would want the Cardinals to target. I think it would be a home run fit. It would just be perfect for what they're trying to do. But if they want to do this, if this is something that they want to leave the draft saying they accomplished, I don't know how they do so without taking a wide receiver on night 1. Are there any other examples, Producer Evan, in that first round of a team coming up from around the range where the Cardinals were? Not even for a wide receiver, but I just want to know what the cost might be. Did anybody, 46, 45, 48 last year, did anybody try to move up to get into the mid-30s? Did anybody try? Because 37 to 34, it's like apples and wrenches to what the Cardinals are going to try to do. They're not even, that's not speaking 2 different languages. To move up 3 spots, to move up 13 spots is totally different. And so I'm wondering if there was a team that picked in the mid-40s that tried to move up not just a couple of spots, but you know what? We can break this out. A series of spots. They wanted to move up more than just 4 spots. They wanted to get inside the top 40. They wanted to get inside the top 38.
100%. So actually the Eagles came up to take Cooper DeJean.
Okay.
And they got the 40th, 78th, and 152nd and gave up the 50th, 53rd, and 161st. So you needed the 50th and the 53rd, 2 seconds to move up 10 spots.
So you needed 2 picks in a very short range in order to move up 10 spots. The Cardinals don't have that. No. And if we are to believe Adam Schefter, and again, it's smokescreen season, you take all this with a grain of salt. But if we are to believe that this team is going to get a wide receiver, and we are to believe that the run on wide receivers on day 2 is going to be real just like it was last year, I think the Cardinals' only way to get a meaningful wide receiver in this draft is to do it on night one. It doesn't have to be at 16. You can move down a couple of times if you want and get a guy in the 20s. That's fine. But if they want to make a meaningful addition in that group, I don't know if it's going to happen on day 2. I really don't.